Hi guys, Christina Ricci. If you want more powers, let's increase our butt strength and ability to get into a hip flexion so you can really stay in posture. I'm out here in the patio watching all the golfers go by, watching their swings, and then obviously what I see in camps. And what I find the most is that players don't stay in their posture, right? They just don't stay in their hip flexion throughout the swing. They pop out of it. Now, there are a multitude of reasons why that might happen, but just to bring awareness to why posture is so important and then how to train for it and how to stay in it when you're through the strike zone is really important. You ready? Let's get to it. All right, I'm traveling, so I don't have my weights with me, so I'm using Tide. It's great. All right, because it's a little off balance. So it's almost it's like a dumbbell, it's great. All right, and it's full, so it has a little bit of weight. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna really target hip flexion and glute strength. So we're gonna get your butt so it has some power in it, and then also teach you how to create that hip flexion. All right, so what you're gonna do is stagger your stance. All right, like this. And then from here, you're gonna take the Tide and you're gonna hinge yourself. So maybe I'll turn this way. You're gonna hinge yourself so your butt goes back. All right, so you're gonna go ahead and touch the Tide behind your front ankle. That's where the magic is. So as soon as you start down, that Tide is gonna go toward your back ankle. And that sends your butt way back. And then squeeze on the way up. Squeeze your butt on the way up. Come all the way up to full extension. And then slowly go down. All right, so you can see how I'm pretty much tabletop with my torso. My butt is way deep. And then I'm squeezing on the way up by pushing into the ground. I'm squeezing and pushing into the ground at the same time. It's also really good for balance. Oh yeah. Let's squeeze on the way up. All right, so do like 5 each leg because it's pretty intense. Probably find that one leg is more balanced than the other. Full extension. Getting a little lazy with that. Oh yeah. So really squeeze on the way up so you can see how deep I'm getting into my hip flexion. All right, make sure your core is engaged. In other words, I don't want your belly hanging down, so engage your core to protect your lower back as you do this. All right, so that's a great one. Give that a shot. You're gonna really feel it. Oh yeah. And so here you go, you stagger your stance, just like that. And you're gonna take the Tide as you push your butt back. Right, the initiation of the move is you're gonna drop the Tide way back here, right behind your front ankle. All right, if you go to your toe, all your pressure is gonna go to your quad. All right, so you really wanna get it deep, 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 deep back here, like that. Kind of tap the ground. And you're gonna really feel it in your butt. All right, so I'll show you from the front view. You're gonna hold the Tide in your hand, hang it down like this. You're gonna stagger your stance. All right, now from here, you're going to push your butt back as the Tide goes to your back ankle. You're gonna tap the ground and squeeze your butt on the way up. All right, so the magic is you're gonna visualize the cap of the Tide touching the back heel. All right, so it's gonna go straight down, it's not gonna go forward. All right, if it goes forward, all right, you're gonna load up your quad and put a lot of pressure on your knee. So you really wanna immediately feel like the Tide goes backwards. All right, so you engage the butt. Try to show you from all angles here. Really, really, really feel it. pretty intense, so do it slow. Yeah, you can see how that guy came right out of his posture, like Jack in the Box. All right, now obviously you gotta identify what the root cause is. And in his case, he came over the top, so he swung to left. All right, this one's a good one. It's intense. All right, this is gonna help you with mobility and explosive power. All right, so you're gonna take your Tide or your laundry detergent. All right, and this kind of like behaves like a kettlebell, just the way it kind of offsets. All right, so if you have a kettlebell, great. You can use a dumbbell as well. All right, so what you're gonna do is get down into your hip flexion here, boom. All right, that's our start point. And then from there, explode up. And then come back down. Put your hand out here, explode up, and then get underneath the Tide. All right, and then you can do this if you want. All right, and then squeeze your butt on the way up. All right, this is super, super intense. You'll maybe do like 3. Make sure you breathe, then reset. All right, so this really helps with mobility in the deep in the hips. So really in here. All right, gets you really good with that mobility in the hips, and it teaches you explosive power. All right, this one's a doozy, I'm not gonna lie to you. I can do 5 each side and I'm toast. All right, so go ahead and get to a flare your feet, driver width stance. Go ahead and hip hinge down so the Tide touches the ground. Now you're gonna explode up and then get right under the Tide. So you're gonna finish with your arm up overhead. All right, and then go ahead and touch the mat with your hand if you can. All right, some of you might just be here. All right, and that's fine. All right, because your mobility. All right, this really opens up the inner part of your thighs, your hips, really, so you can get deep into the, again, it's all about getting deep into that hip flexion. All right, if you're tight in here, you're not gonna be able to get deep, and you're most likely gonna come out of your posture. All right, so this is really awesome and explosive. All right, reset. All right, you can have a little jump there, or you can extend without leaving the mat. All right. All right, this is very challenging. Give it a shot. Oof. All right, so some tips to help you with the form. All right, get into a shoulder width stance. Make sure you flare your feet. And then send your bottom back. There's a toilet seat back here. You don't want to miss it. All right, send your bottom back. The Tide's going to drop straight down, not forward. All right, because if the Tide goes forward, you're going to go with it. So you're actually going to feel like it drops between your legs down. So it gets your butt really back. Now from here, explode up, and then make sure your arm is in line with your ear, not behind it. All right, and if it's way over here, that means you have mobility issues. All right, so maybe if that's you, if you can't get your arm in a safe position, if it's way over here and it's not in line with your ear and it's way down here, all right, maybe just go ahead and do it like a little goblet squat, just to start out. A little jump. And you can finish like this. All right, if you can't get your arm up overhead safely, safety first, just do a little jump squat. Make sure the Tide cover is tight. All right, because you don't want this thing flying all over the place. All right, this is an explosive move right here. All right, so go ahead and get into a shoulder width stance. We're gonna go ahead and squat down, so you're gonna get your butt really deep. All right, from here, you're gonna explode up and extend your arm up overhead if you can. And if you can, touch the mat with your hand. All right, this really helps you get super deep in your squat and then drive up and reset. All right, this is super challenging. All right, so I'm really pretty much on my entire foot, but favoring the heels and then driving up. Oh, this is a great one. You can do it with a band or without. All right, I'm using a foam roller. I'll show you variations. All right, you can do it without anything as well. I'll show you without anything first. It's just a bridge. Rip this really good for the butt. So I had to lie in the mat. Oh my gosh, this is so nice. Okay, don't lie down too long, otherwise you'll fall asleep. Now, the closer your heels are to your butt, the more you'll get your butt. The further away your heels are, the more you'll get your hamstrings. All right, so play with that. Now you can keep your arms down. That's easier. All right, so the key is you really want to get your butt high and then come back down. All right, this was harder, a little more challenging. All right, so squeeze your butt at the top. You want to get your butt as high as possible, so go ahead and lift your toes, get into your heels so you can really squeeze the butt. That helps you to squeeze the butt. And then roll your back down. I like to roll the body down to open up the spine. And kind of vertebra by vertebra on the way down. Bridge up, and then roll your spine down. All right, variation to get a little deeper. All right, just be careful because it could roll. I feel like it's gonna roll. All right, so my suggestion is not to do this just because of the roll factor. All right, I'm doing single leg, that's more challenging. All right, so you want your leg parallel to this knee, in line with this knee. You don't want it high or low. I mean, you could vary it up. Actually feel a little bit more engagement with it low. Another variation is cross at the top so you can get higher. So by taking your foot and crossing it, you can lift a little higher. And reset. I really like this one. All right, I'll switch. All right, because the magic is here at the top. All right, if you just go to here, it's not as good as going way up here. That's where the magic is. So getting this leg to cross over really helps. Pushing into the ground helps. All right, so that's that one. And then if you want to go crazy, the guy was pretty good. He stayed in it pretty good. All right, another great variation is to get something higher. Okay, so just go ahead and get on the mat again. Put your heels on the bench. Okay, now drive up. And then down. All right, so this just gets deeper. All right, because you have more lift area. All right, so this is challenging. And then if you want to go crazy, put a band. Your goal here is to push out. Keep that engagement. So push out and keep that engagement out as you drive up and down. And add even more at the top. All right, this is super. All right, so you go crazy high and crazy low. All right, so you just get that much more, and then if you're using the band, just press out. All right, so it just gets way deeper. All right, then you can be up here and do little pulses if you want to go crazy. All right, so mix it up, vary it up. Routine is the enemy. push it out and try to get hamstrings more. Oh yeah. Really feel that in my hamstrings. Wow. All right, so give that a shot. It's awesome. All right, so go ahead and grab your dumbbell, kettlebell, or tide. And we're gonna do a single leg split stance. All right, so this really targets your butt, believe it or not. You wanna keep your hips as level as possible. All right, and you wanna get as low as possible without really rounding your back. And then drive up by squeezing your butt. All right, hover your foot, hover this foot for extra challenge. All right, it's a slow movement. I really, really feel it in my butt and hamstrings, like crazy. I'm gonna lift that back leg as high as possible, keeping this leg as straight as possible. So this kind of gets it all. Really, when you drive up, really press into the ground with your feet, especially your big toe, because that engages your butt even more. Try to tap the tide on the ground, extend this leg up as straight as possible, and then drive up through the heel, drive up through the ground, squeezing the butt on the way up. Bonus, hover this foot, so never put it on the ground. That's just a bonus. All right, this trailer challenge is balance. Good for lengthening and strengthening the whole shooting match. It's a really slow movement too. Really, really good. Wow. Good for ankle stability. Really good.